his parents, I want to go to public school, right? And his parents say, you want to go to public school? You're a hafiz. You can't go to that terrible environment. You're going to get all messed up. And you know what he says? He says, well, I just learned Allah's book. And the people who need to hear about Allah's book the most are the people in high school. They have to know what this is. I feel responsible. Why should I hide what I have? I feel a responsibility to share. I feel bad for those people, right? So they put him in public high school. By the time he graduated high school, 16 kids had taken Shahada. 16 kids had taken Shahada. Now, what I'm talking about here is an attitude not of defense, but of what? Of offense. You see yourself as having something superior. So when I'm talking, especially young people nowadays, I feel like I'm putting you guys on the spot. I don't know for sure, but I guess I'm going to stereotype. A lot of you, you're not proud of Islam. You're not proud of it. Like, this is it, man. Everything else, I feel sorry for these people. Instead, what's happening to our girls, our daughters, is when they see some girl dressed a certain way, they say, oh, I wish I could dress like that. Too bad it's haram. Right? We see other, kids, boys, they're doing all kinds of things, and we say, oh, yeah, my parents wouldn't let me do that. It's apparently not allowed, or something, But the right attitude would be, I feel bad for that girl. Look at how she has to dress herself, how she has to put herself on display. She's looking for attention like that, while Allah has already given me attention by my Islam. All the dignity I need, all the recognition I need, Allah has already given me. Why do people do the kinds of ignorant things they do? You know what they're looking for? Is attention and respect. If you really have Islam, you're not looking for it anywhere else. You already got it. And when you find other people pathetically searching for it in other things, you can actually look down on them and say, I feel bad for you. Let me show you something better you can aspire to, So that's the kind of attitude that's really important, at least in high school life. When you were talking about college, I'll take 2 minutes more. When you're talking about college, in my opinion at least in my experience, college is a time where it's a world of ideas. Right? You get exposed to so much more. And you can go in so many different directions. And college is really the part of your life where it's the formulating part of your life where you decide what the rest of your life is going to look like. Really it's college, because true independence is in college. That's where you really truly decide what direction in life you're going to take. Not just professionally, but what kind of person you're going to be, how you're going to carry yourself, what kind of priorities you're going to have in life. All of that kind of comes from what you're going to do in college. And a huge part of that is who you're around in college. If you're around a bunch of losers in college all the time, well, guess what? You're going to be one. If you're going to be around a bunch of go-getters in college, you're going to turn into one. That's what college is like. The thing to do in college, in my opinion, is to, of course, take care of your academics, but on the other side, be heavily, heavily, heavily involved in something like an MSA. Use your spare time to do some productive stuff. Whether it be putting programs together, or you're doing food drives, whatever it is you're doing, whether it's study circles or something. But the MSA to me is like a lifeline in college. And if you're not part of it, you're really, really missing out on something that's going to hurt you way down the line. The role that the masjid is supposed to play in the life of a Muslim during college, the reality of it is that's what the MSA plays. And I know MSAs have problems and drama and all this stuff. There's a Ubaid here, his t-shirt, right? He made an MSA t-shirt that says, we know drama, right? So, right? But that's true. Nonetheless, the Muslim Students Association, I think, at least for me, was a lifesaver. Wallahi, it was a lifesaver. Had it not been for the MSA, Allahu A'lam, I would have never met anybody who would make me want to commit myself to praying regularly. I wouldn't have met somebody like that. So, yeah, through the MSA, and some of the great scholars we have going around nowadays are ex-MSA people. They came out of the MSA, So don't trivialize it. Don't think little of it. Really, make it a big part of your life in college, inshallah. And if your school doesn't have one, make one. You should be the one to make it. You should be the one to create it. And actually nowadays, so many high schools, I'm so proud of them, high schools are starting to make MSAs. I went to the MSA at Euless, the Trinity High School the other day. I was shocked. There was like 80 kids there. I was like, where did you people come from? But subhanAllah, it's a thing of pride when Muslims come together and they're trying to do something like that. So that would be my advice for college. What was that last thing again? When you become zombies and you get into the workforce?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, that's the last bit, right? The thing of it is, I'll just speak frankly, I think that Muslims in this country, for a long time, we haven't been creative. We have not been creative. Our idea of a good career is limited to 4 or 5 things, and if your children are not graduating in these 4 to 5 fields, then they have failed in life. Right? They're just, what are you doing with your life? So if your son decides to, for example, get a bachelor's in history, you'll say, what are you doing? Is that why we brought you to America, to study history? No. Forget about history, worry about your future. Right? And do computer science and do like accounting, and if you can't, no. First let's start with Jannatul Firdaus. Do med school, and then, at least engineering, and if you can't do that, fine, a little bit lower, kind of barzakhish, but computer science. If you can't do CS, you can't be a programmer, at least do IT. Okay, fine, be an accountant. Oh, education, way at the bottom, education. Right, so we have these, we figure out that these are the careers that are successful, and we push those on to our kids. Listen, this is not the British Empire leaving Pakistan and India behind, and the only careers left are the ones that the Brits left for us. This is not that anymore. This is really, I don't mean to be cliche, but it's a land of opportunity. Right? And there's so many creative fields that we could use Muslims in, and that it's not just that it would be a great service to the community, but they can really be lucrative careers. So my first bit of advice would be to first, identify for yourself, and college is the time to do that, and high school is the early time to do that. Identify for yourself what are the subjects and what are the areas of study or specialization that you find interesting, that you really like, genuinely like. And then in college, find out, speak to professionals in that field, speak to counselors, advisors, and find out what kind of career paths are available in that field that you personally really, really like, and not just like, but you're good at. These are 2 things that are important. Because you could really like something, but you're no good at it. Right? Don't do that. Because you won't get anywhere. And sometimes you're really good at something, but you don't like it at all. You're really great at it. You hate it though. And you go and do it anyway because you're good at it, and you know what happens? You're miserable your entire life because you hate going to work every day because you can't stand your job. Right? So it would be good, it would be an effort on your part to look for something, A, that you really like doing, and B, that you're good at, and then pursue a career in that field, inshallah ta'ala. And even if that doesn't happen, that's the ideal case, right? But even if that doesn't happen, have a career in which your life is not your career. Your life is not your career. I used to be in IT back in the day, way before, we're talking about the age of Pentiums and 386, you guys don't know what that is. Okay, anyway, right, when Windows was the thing, right? So, but when I was in IT, you know what happened? Technology was constantly changing. So to keep up in your career, what did you have to do? You're at work when you're at work, and you're at work when you're home, so you can stay at work the next day to keep up with your career. So your work basically consumes you. And you have no energy, no time left to do anything else with your life. That is it. That's all you are. You ever seen people that work so hard, every time you talk to them, all they can talk about is work? That's all they can talk about. They can't think of talking about anything else. Why? Because that's all their life has become. Unfortunately, they're just a means to make some multi-million dollars company some more money. That's all they've become, a cog in a machine. You have to have a career in which you have time left for yourself, for your family, for your community, for other things. A lot of people I know that were amazing in their MSA years. Man, these people were awesome. The moment their career started, they disappeared. What happened to that guy? I don't know, he got a job. Last I heard of him, he got a job. That's what happened. They disappeared. We don't see them at masajid, we don't see them in programs, we don't see them, pursuing their study of deen. We don't see them. And in some cases it's understandable, you're busy with family and things, But, it's something you have to be cognizant of. Don't lose who you were. Don't lose who you were. And if your children see you not having any activities outside of your career and doing the groceries, they don't see you actively participating in wanting to learn the deen for yourself, in wanting to gain a better understanding, doing something for Islam, whether it be in the realm of da'wah or humanitarian work or whatever it may be. If they don't see that, how are they going to get inspired? So these would be a few tidbits about just high school, college, and career, inshallah.
That's good. But coming back to the professional, what do you think about money making? Because a lot of guys, when I started making